Hello, and welcome to the very last day of Shakespeare in 5 sittings, where I read as much Shakespeare as possible. The original goal was to read all of his works, but very soon into the first day, I realized that it's a very big book, and there's no way I could read all of that, even if I wasn't sleeping at all, going 24/7 all week. But who knows? But anyways, so I've just kind of been picking and choosing what plays I've been reading, and yesterday I ended with Romeo and Juliet, and I didn't exactly finish it. I had like 7 pages left, so I'm gonna finish that today, and then I'll read other stuff. But yeah. Tuned in before, you know that this is a fundraiser for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, in which we have raised an astounding $854 raised. That is incredible. That's so much. And last night after I ended my stream, there was incredibly generous donation from Marilyn Coleman. Thank you so much for donating $103. That means so much. And everyone else who has donated, every single donation helps. Thank you very much. Please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. The link is in the description down below, and it is in the chat over there. So please think about donating. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to continue Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Juliet and Nurse. Juliet. Aye, those atteries are best, but, gentle nurse, I pray thee leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many orisons to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which, well thou knowest, is cross and full of sin. Enter Capulet's wife. Capulet's wife. What, are you so busy, ho? You need my help? Juliet. No, madam, we have called such necessities as are behoved for our state tomorrow. So please you, let me now be left alone, and let the nurse this night sit up with you, for I am sure you have your hands full Sorry. For I am sure you have your hands full all in this so sudden business. Capulet's wife. Good night. Get thee to bed, and rest, for thou hast need. Exeunt Capulet's wife and nurse. Juliet. Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse, what should she do here? My dismal scene I needs must act alone. Come, Vial, what if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, no, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. Lays down a dagger. What if it be a poison which the frere subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonored because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How if, when I am laid in the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in, and there lie strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place, as in a vault of ancient receptacle, where for this many hundred years the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody Tybalt yet but green in earth lies festering in his shroud, where, as they say, at some hours in the night spirits resort. Alack, alack, it is not that I so early waking, what with loathsome smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals hearing them run mad. Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught, envied with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage with some great kinsman's bone, as with a club. Thank you. As with a club dash out my desperate brains. Oh, look, methinks I see my cousin's ghost seeking out Romeo, that did spit his body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay. Romeo, 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 here's drink. I drink to thee. She drinks from vial and falls upon her bed within the curtains. Give me 1 second. Again, I forgot to check my mic this morning, so I'm just going to quickly check. Okay. It's working. Cool. I will continue now. Okay. Awesome. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Act 4, Scene 4. Enter Capulet's wife and nurse with herbs. Capulet's wife. Hold, take these keys and fetch more spices, nurse. Nurse, they call for dates, quinces in the pastry. Enter old Capulet. Capulet. Come, stir, stir, stir. The second cock hath crowed, the curfew bell hath rung. 'Tis 3 o'clock. Look to the baked meats, good Angelica. Spare not for cost. Nurse. Go, you cut queen, go, get you to bed. Faith, you'll be sick tomorrow for this night's watching. Capulet. No, not a whit. What I have watched ere now all night for lesser cause, and ne'er been sick. Capulet's wife. Ay, you have been a mouse hunt in your time, but I will watch you from such watching now. Exit Capulet's wife and nurse. Capulet. A jealous hood, a jealous hood. Enter 3 or 4 fellows with spits and logs, each 3 and baskets. Now, fellow, what is there? First fellow. Things for the cook, sir, but I know not what. Capulet. Make haste, make haste. Exit first fellows. Sirrah. Fetch drier logs. Call Peter, he will show thee what there are. Second fellow. I have a second fellow. I have a head, sir, that will find out logs and never trouble. Peter, for the matter. Capulet. Mass, and well said, a merry whoreson. Ha! Thou shalt be lodgerhead. Exit second fellow with the others. Good faith, 'tis day, the country will be here with the music straight. For so, nurse, I say, enter nurse. Go waken Juliet, go and trim her up. I'll go and chat with Paris. Hi, make haste, the bridegroom, he is come already. Make haste, I say. Exit. Act 4, Scene 5. Nurse goes to curtains. Nurse. Mistress, what? Mistress, Juliet, fast I warrant she. Why, lamb, why, lady, fie, you slug bed, why, love, I say, madam, sweetheart, why, bride. What? You take your pennyworths now, sleep for a week, for the next night I warrant, the County Paris hath set up his rest, that you shall rest but little. God forgive me. Mary and amen, how sound is she asleep? I needs must wake her. Madam, madam, madam! Ay, let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up, I faith. Will it not be? Draws aside the curtains. What, dressed and in your clothes and down again? I must needs wake you. Lady, 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 alas, alas! Help, help, my lady's dead. Oh, well a day that ever I was born. Some aqua vitae, ho, my lord, my lady! Enter Capulet's wife. Capulet's wife. What noise is here? Nurse. Oh, lamentable day. Oh, lamentable day. Capulet's wife. What's the matter? Nurse. Look, look, oh, heavy day. Capulet's wife. Oh, me, my child, my only life. Revive, look up, or I will die with thee. Help, help. Call help. Enter Capulet. Capulet. For shame, bring Juliet forth. Her lord is come. Nurse. She's dead, deceased. She's dead, alack the day. Capulet's wife. Alack the day. She's dead, she's dead, she's dead. Capulet. Ha, let me see her. Out, alas, she's cold, her blood is settled, and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field. Nurse. O lamentable day, Capulet's wife! O woeful time! Capulet. Death that hath taken her hence to make me wail ties up my tongue, and will not let me speak. Enter Friar Lawrence and the Country Paris with musicians. Friar. Come, is the bride ready to go to church? Capulet. Ready to go, but never to return. O son, the night before the wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law, death is my heir. My daughter he hath wedded. I will die and leave him all, life, living, all his deaths. All at once cry out and wring their hands. Paris. Have I thought long to see this morning's face, and doth it give me such a sight as this? Capulet. Accursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day, most miserable hour that ever time saw in lasting labor of his pilgrimage. But one poor and loving child. But one thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel death hath catched. And cruel death hath catched it from my sight. Nurse. Oh woe, oh woeful, woeful, woeful day, most lamentable day, most woeful day, that ever I did yet behold. O day, O day, O day, O hateful day, never was seen so black a day as this. O woeful day, O woeful day. Paris. Beguiled, divorced, wronged, spited, slain. Most detestable death by thee beguiled. By cruel, thee quite overthrown. O life, not life, but love and death. O life, not life, but love and death. Capulet. Despised, distressed, hated, martyred, killed, uncomfortable time. Why camest thou now to murder all our solemnity? O child, my soul and not my child. Dead art thou, alack, my child is dead, and with my child my joys are buried. Fair. Peace, ho, for shame, confusions. Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and all the better is it for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from life, but heaven knows his part in eternal. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, for 'twas your heaven she should be advanced. And weep ye now, seeing she is advanced above the clouds, as high as heaven itself? Oh, in this love you love your child so ill that you run mad, seeing that she is well. She's not well married that lives married long, but she's best married that dies and married young. Dry up your tears and stick your rosemary on this fair corpse, and as the custom is, in all her best array, bear her to church. For though fond nature bids us all lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment. Capulet. All things that we ordained festival turn from their office to black. Capulet. All things that we ordained festival turned from their office to black funeral. O instruments to melancholy, our instruments to melancholy bells, our wedding cheer to sad burial feast, our solemn hymns to sullen dirages change, our bridal flowers serve for a buried corpse, and all things change them to the contrary. Fair. Sir, go you in, and madam go with him, and go, Sir Paris. Everyone prepare to follow this fair corpse unto her grave. The heavens do lower it upon you for some ill, move them no more by crossing their high will. Exeunt, casting rosemary on her, and shutting the curtains. Maneth the nurse with musicians. First musician. Faith, we may put up our pipes and be gone. Nurse. Honest good fellows. Put up, for well you know this is a pitiful case. Exit. First musician. Aye, by my troth, the case may be amended. Enter Peter. Peter. Musicians, oh musicians, heart's ease, heart's ease. Oh, and you will have me live. Play heart's ease. First musician. Why heart's ease? Peter. Oh, musicians, because my heart itself plays, my heart is full of woe. Oh, play me some merry dump to comfort me. First musician. Not a dump we. 'Tis no time to play now. Peter. You will not then? First musician. No. Peter. I will give it you soundly. First musician. What will you give us? Peter. No money on my faith, but the gleek. I will give you the minstrel. First musician. Then I will give you the serving creature. Peter. Then will I lay the serving creature's dagger on your pate. I will carry no crotchets. I ree you, I'll fly you. Do you note me? I'll ray you, I'll fly you. Do you note me? First musician. And you ray us and fa us, you note us. Second musician. Pray you put up your dagger and put out your wit. Peter. Then you have at you with my wit. I will beat you like an iron wit, and put up my iron dagger. Answer me like men. When griping grief the heart doth wound, and doleful dumps the mind oppress, then music with her silver sound. Why silver sound? Why music with her silver sound? What say you, Simon Catline? First musician. Marry, sir, because silver hath a sweet sound. Peter. Pretty, what say you, Hugh Rebecca? Second musician. I say silver mound because musicians sound for silver. I hear my cat, so 1 second. Truman, what is it you want? What are you looking for? Here, let me leave the door open for a little while so you can come in and out, okay? Yeah, buddy. What is it you were looking for? What is it, buddy? This is my cat. Truman, are you a Shakespeare cat? Meow. Okay. Here, Truman, when you want to leave, I'll open the door for you again. But what are you looking for? You just want to be under my live stream, don't you? It's right beneath my feet right now, so you'll hear some good Shakespeare. Okay. Peter. Pretty too. What say you, James Sandpost? Third musician. Faith, I know not what to say. Peter. Oh, I cry you, mercy. You are the singer. I will say for you. It is music with her silver sound, because musicians have no gold for sounding. Then music with her silver sound with speedy help doth lend redress. Exit. First musician. What a pestilent knave is the same. Second musician. Hang him, Jack. Come, we'll in here tarry for the mourners and stay dinner. Exit with others. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter Romeo. Sorry, I'm just petting my cat because he's so adorable. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter Romeo. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter Romeo. Romeo, if I trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's lord sits lightly in his throne, and all his days, in unaccustomed spirit, lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think. I don't know what you want, Truman. I don't know what you want. What do you want me to do? You keep meowing at me. I can't, I don't know what you want me to do. You want me to just pet you? I can pet you, if that's what you want. Oof. Okay. Truman, you made me lose my spot. Oh, here it is. I dreamt and all this. I'm just going to start over. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter Romeo. Romeo, if I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day in accustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think. Strange dream. And breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah me, sweet is love itself possessed, but when love's shadows are so rich in joy, enter Romeo's man, Balthazar booted. News from Verona. How now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the frere? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, but nothing can be ill if she is well. Balthazar. Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels live. I saw her laid low in her kindred vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my officer, Romeo. Is it e'en so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horse. I will hence tonight. Truman. Hey, buddy. No, down, boy. Truman, you're going to knock over my water. Truman. I love you, buddy, but you can't be walking on the table where the book and the water and the camera is. That's not good. Did you get cat hair in my water bottle, Truman? Ah! Oh, it's okay, buddy. Okay. Balthazar. I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure. Romeo. Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. How thou know letters to me from the frere. Balthazar. No, my good lord. Romeo. No matter, get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Exit Balthazar. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. O mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember in apothecary, and hereabouts a dwell, which late I noted in tattered weeds with overwhelming brows, culling of simples. Meager were his looks, sharp misery had worn him to the bones, and in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed in other skins of ill-shaped fishes, and about his shelves a beggarly account of empty boxes, green earthen pots, bladders, and musty seeds, remnants of to make up a show. Noting this penury to myself, I said, and if a man did need a poison now, whose sale is present death, and Mantua, here lives a caitiff wretch would sell it him. Oh, this same thought did but forerun in my need, and this same needy man must sell it me. As I remember, this should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho, apothecary! Enter apothecary. Apothecary, who calls so loud? Romeo, come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, there is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison. Such soon speeding gear will disperse itself through all the veins that is the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty power fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb. Apothecary, such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them. Romeo, art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fearest to die? Famine is in thy cheeks, need and oppression starveth. Sorry, I lost my place. Oh, here. Need and oppression starveth in thy eyes. Contempt and beggarly hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it and take this. Apothecary, my poverty, but not my will consents. Romeo, I pay thy poverty and not thy will. Apothecary, put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight. Romeo, there is thy gold, worse poison to men's souls, doing more murder in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayst not sell. I sell thee poison. Thou hast sold me none. Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come, cordial and not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee. Excellent. Act 5, Scene 2. Enter Friar John and Friar Lawrence. Friar John. Holy Franciscan, Friar Brother, ho! Enter Friar Lawrence. Friar Lawrence. This same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome to Minuta. What says Romeo, or if his mind be writ, give me his letter. Friar John, going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order to associate me here in this city visiting the sick and finding him the searchers of the town. Suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors, and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Minuta there was stayed. Friar Lawrence, who bare my letter then to Romeo? Friar John, I could not send it. Here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection. Friar Lawrence, unhappy fortune, by my brotherhood the letter was not nice, but full of charge of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence, get me an iron crow, and bring it straight unto my cell. Friar John, brother, I'll go and bring it thee. Exit. Friar Lawrence, now must I to the monument alone. Within this 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me much that Romeo hath no notice of these accidents, but I will write again to Minuta to keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corpse clothed in a dead man's tomb. Exit. Act 5, Scene 3. Enter Paris and his page, with flowers and sweet water and a torch. Paris. Give me thy torch, boy, hence and stand aloof. Yet put it out, for I would not be seen. Hold yond yew tree thee all along, holding thy ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, being loose, unfirm, with the digging up of graves. But thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee go. Page, aside. I am almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard, yet I will adventure. Retires. Paris strews the tomb with flowers. Paris, sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh woe, thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will do, or wanting that with tears distilled by moans, the obsequies that I for thee will keep nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep. Whistle boy. The boy gives warning. Something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right? What, with a torch? Muffle me, night awhile. Retires. Enter Romeo and Balthazar with a torch, a mattock, and a crow of iron. Romeo, give me that mattock and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter. Early in the morning see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee, whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partially to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence, begone, but if thou jealous dost return to pry in what I farther shall intend to do, by heaven I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs, most fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea. Balthazar, I will be gone, sir, and not trouble ye. Romeo, so shall thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Gives him money. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow. Balthazar. Hello, Hero Media Studios. Gives him money. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow. Balthazar, aside. For all the same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt. Retires. Romeo. Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth, thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food. Romeo begins to open the tomb. Paris. That Paris. This is that banished haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, which with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died, and here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die. Romeo, I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone, let them affright me. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone, by heaven I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and hereafter say a madman's mercy bid thee run away. Paris. I do defy my conjurations and apprehend thee for a felon hence. That's my cat right there. Say hi, Truman. Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Paris, I do defy thy conjurations, and apprehend thee for a felon here. Romeo, wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy. They fight. Page, O Lord, they fight. I will go call the watch. Exit. Paris follows. Paris, O, I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet. Dies. Romeo, in faith I will. Let me pursue this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris, what said my man when my betrothed so did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so? Or did I dream it so? Or am I mad, hearing him talk of Juliet, to think it was so? Oh, give me thy hand, one rich with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. Romeo opens the tomb. A grave? Oh no, a lantern, slaughtered youth, for here lies Juliet. Her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there by a dead man interred, lays him in the tomb. How oft when men are at the point of death, have they been merry, which their keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how I call this a lightning. Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's in sign, yet in crimson is thy lips and thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced thee. Tybalt, liest thou where in thy bloody sheet? Or what more favor can I do thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain, to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is enormous, and that the lean, unharbored monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this pallet oh, what more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain, to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that lean armored monster keeps thee here and in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this pallet of dim night depart again. Here will I remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, O you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks. Thy seasick weary bark, here's to my love, drinks. O true apothecary, thy drugs are quick, thus with a kiss I die. He kisses Juliet, falls, and dies. Enter fair Lawrence with lantern, crow, and spade. Thus with a kiss I die. He kisses Juliet, falls, and dies. Enter fair lords with lantern, crow, and spade. Fair, Saint Francis be my speed. How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves. Who's there? Balthazar. Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well. Fair, bliss be upon you. Tell me, good my friend, what torches yond that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls. As I discern, it burneth in the capel's monument. Balthazar. It doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love. Frere, who is it? Balthazar. Romeo. Frere, how long hath he been there? Balthazar. Full half an hour. Frere, go with me to the vault. Balthazar. I dare not, sir, my master knows not, but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death, if I did stay to look on his intents. Frere. Stay then, I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. Oh, much I fear some ill unthrifty thing. Balthazar. As I did sleep under this yew tree, on this yew tree here, I dreamt my master and another fraught, and that my master slew him. Frere. Romeo. Frere stops and looks on the blood and weapons. Alack, alack, what blood is this which stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre? What mean these masterless and gory swords to lie discolored by this place of peace? Enters the tomb. Romeo, oh pale, who else? What, Paris too, and steeped in blood? Ah, what an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance. The lady stirs. Juliet rises. Juliet. Oh, comfortable Frere, where is my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where is my Romeo? Frere, I hear some noise, lady, come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead, and Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee among a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare no longer stay. Juliet. Go, get thee hence, for I will not away. Exit. Frere. Who's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Otro, drunk all, and left no friendly drop. To help me after, I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make me die with the restorative. Kisses him. Thy lips are warm. Chief watchman within. Lead, boy, which way? Juliet. Yea, noise? Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger, takes Romeo's dagger. This is thy sheath. There rust and let me die. She stabs herself, falls, and dies. Hoof! Intense. Enter Paris's page and watch. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, we have raised an incredible $854 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And here is Mr. William Shakespeare to tell you a little bit about this this fundraiser. Why, yes, this is for a very good cause. And we have raised $854 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. We have provided some really big number. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yes, we have provided an insanely huge amount of people with healthy meals. 680 people to be precise. We have provided 680 people with healthy meals. We've provided home care for 8 people struggling in their fight with AIDS. We've covered life-saving medications for 1 month for almost 4 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance. And we have paid overdue rent and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. And we are close to helping another single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. So please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. The link is in the description and in the chat. So please consider donating. Every donation counts. And thank you very much to everyone who has already donated. And now back to my very incredibly written piece, Romeo and Juliet. Thank you, Will. Okay. Enter Paris's page and watch. Page. This is the place. There with the torch doth burn. There where the torch doth burn. Chief Watchman. The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Go, some of you, whoever you find, attach. Exeunt some of the watch. Pitiful sight. Here lies the country slain, and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly dead, who here hath lain this 2 days buried. Go, tell the prince, run to the Capotes, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues, some others search, exeunt others of the watch. We see the ground whereon those woes do lie, but the true ground of all those piteous woes we cannot without circumstance descry. Enter some of the watch with Romeo's man Balthazar. Second Watchman. Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard. Chief Watchman. Hold him in safety till the prince come hither. Enter Friar Lawrence and another watchman. Third Watchman. Here's a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and this spade from him as he was coming from this churchyard side. Chief Watchman. A great suspicion. Stay the friar too. Enter Prince and attendants. Prince, what misadventures so early that calls our person from our morning rest? Enter Capulet and his wife. Capulet. What should it be that is shrieked so abroad? Capulet's wife. Oh, the people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument. Prince. What fear is this which startles in your ears? Chief Watchman. Sovereign, here lies the County Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed. Prince. Search, seek, and now how this foul murder comes. Chief Watchman. Here is a friar and slaughtered Romeo's man, with instruments upon them fit to open these dead men's tombs. Capulet. O heavens, O wife, look how our daughter bleeds. The stagger hath mistaken, for lo, his house is empty on the back of Montague, and it beseeched my In my daughter's bosom, Capulet's wife. O me, the sight of death is a bell that warns my old age to a sepulture. Enter Montague. Prince, come, Montague, for thou art early up to see thy soon son and heir more early down. Montague, alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age? What is it that you want, buddy? Do you wanna go back outside? Okay, buddy, but I've had a lot of fun with you in Shakespeare this morning. Yes, you could. Okay, let's go. Okay, bye, Truman. Bye. And Truman leaves. Okay, I'll be right back after this quick 1 minute break. And we're now apparently at 1 hour. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Need to find where. Okay. Okay, enter Montague. Prince, come, Montague, for thou art early up to see thy son and heir more early down. Montague, alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age? Prince, look, and thou shalt see. Montague, O thou untaught, what manners is in this to press before thy father to a grave? Prince, seal up the mouth for outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities and know their spring, their head, their true descent, and then I will be general of your woes, and lead you even to death. Meantime forbear, and let mischance be slave to patience. Bring forth the parties of suspicion. Fair. I am the greatest, able to do the least, yet most suspected as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder. Here I stand, both to impeach and purge myself condemned, and myself excused. Prince. Then say at once what thou dost know in this. Fair. I will be brief, for my short date of breath is not so long as is a tedious tale. Romeo there dead was husband to that Juliet, and she there dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from the city, for whom and not for Tybalt Juliet pined you to remove that siege of grief from her betrothed, and would have married her perforce to county Paris. Then comes she to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some mean to rid her from this second marriage, or in my cell there would she kill herself. Then gave I her, so tutored to my art, a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, for it wrought on her the form of death. Meantime I writ to Romeo that he should hither come as the dire night, and help take her from her borrowed grave. Being the time the potion's force would cease. But he which bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back. Then all alone at the prefixed hour of her waking came I to take her from her kindred vault morning, to keep her closely at my cell, till I conveniently could send to Romeo. But when I came, some minute ere the time of her awaking, here untimely lay the noble Paris and true Romeo dead. She wakes, and I entreated her come forth to bear this work of heaven with patience, and then a noise did scare me from the tomb. She too desperate, would not go with me, but as it seems did violence on herself. All this I know. Sorry. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy, and if aught in this miscarried by my fault, let my old life be sacrificed some hour before his time unto the rigor of severest law. Prince, we still have known thee for a holy man. Where's Romeo's man? What can he say to this? Balthazar, I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he early bade part and left him there. Prince, give me the letter, I will look on it. Where's the county's page that raised the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place? Page, he came with flowers to strew his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him, and then I ran away to call the watch. Prince, this letter doth make good the Freyre's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love, and I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished. All are punished. Capulet, O brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's joined here, for no more I can demand. Montague, but I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that whiles Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure by such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet. Capulet, as rich shall Romeo's by his ladies lie, for sacrifices are of our enmity. Prince, a glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad thing of the go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Excellent omens. And that is the end of Romeo and Juliet. So I'm going to take a quick 1-minute break, and then I will be back to start the Scottish play. The play that shall not be named. But I guess because we're not in a theater, I feel comfortable saying it. Macbeth. Okay, nothing happened. Good. Okay. I think it's because I'm not in a theater. I'm just in a room in my house. Okay, page 1616. It's one of the very last ones in the book. Excuse me. Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay. Good luck on your final day. And it's been a memorable week. Thank you so much. Okay, and now I will be starting. And I'll be starting Macbeth / the Scottish play. Okay. Macbeth. Names of the actors: Duncan, King of Scotland; Malcolm and Donalbain. Macbeth, Banquo, Macduff, Lennox, Ross, Menteith, Angus, and Caithness are Scottish thanes. Fleance is son to Banquo. Siward, Earl of Northumberland. Young Siward, his son. Satan, Seaton, I'm not sure how to pronounce, an officer attending on Macbeth. Boy, son to Macduff. A captain, an English doctor, a Scottish doctor, a porter, an old man, 3 murderers, Lady Macbeth, Lady Macduff, a gentlewoman attending on Lady Macbeth, the weird sisters, witches, Kate, apparitions, lords, officers, soldiers, messengers, and attendants. Okay. Need to look up how to pronounce some of these names. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just finding out how to pronounce these things. Okay, let's see. So I'm not sure if this one character is Seaton or Satan. Seaton. 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 Satan. Seaton. Not sure. You know what? Oh, we'll figure it out. Okay. C. Scotland and England. Act 1, Scene 1. Thunder and lightning. Enter 3 witches. First witch. When shall we 3 meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? Second witch. When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won. Third witch. That will be ere the set of sun. First witch. Where the place. Second witch. Upon the heath. Third witch. There to meet with Macbeth. First witch. I come, Grey Malkin. Second witch. Paddock calls. Third witch. A nun. All. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air. Excellent. Okay. Act 1, Scene 2. Alarm within. Enter King, Duncan, Malcolm, Donabane, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding captain. King Duncan. What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt the newest state. Malcolm. This is the servant who is like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it. Captain. Doubtful it stood, as 2 spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless McDunwold, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles of Kerns and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned coral smiling, shoved like a rebel's whore, but all too weak for brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like Valier's minion carved out his passage, till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps, and fixed his head upon our battlements. King Duncan. O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman. Captain. As whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwreck in storms and direful thunders, so from that springs whence comfort seemed to come discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark, no sooner justice had with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault. King Duncan. Dismayed not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo? Captain. Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion, I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell, but I am faint. My gashes cry for help. King Duncan, so well thy words become thee as thy wounds, thy smack of honor both. Go get him surgeons. Exit captain, unattended. Enter Ross and Angus. Who comes here? Malcolm, the worthy Thane of Ross. Lexon, what a haste looks through his eyes, so should he look that seems to speak things strange. Ross, God save the king. King Duncan, whence camest thou, worthy Thane? Ross, from Fie, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom lacked in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us. King Duncan, great happiness. Ross, that now we knew the Norway's king craves composition. Nor would we dine him burial of his men till he dispersed at St. Colm's Inch $10,000 to our general use. King Duncan, no more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth. Ross, I'll see it done, King Duncan. He hath lost noble Macbeth hath won. Excellent. And we are at $854 raised for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. So I'm going to have Shakespeare tell you a little bit about that. Why, hello there. Right now we are at a stunning $854 raised for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. We have provided 680 people with healthy meals. We have provided home care for 800 people struggling in their fight with AIDS. We've covered life-saving medications for 1 month for 3 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance. And we've paid overdue rent and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. So please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. All donations count. All donations help. And we are only $46 away from $900 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. $900! With only $46 more, we will have provided 720 people with healthy meals, provided home care for 9 people struggling in their fight with AIDS, covered life-saving medications for 1 month for almost 4 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance, and be just $100 away from paying overdue rent and keeping 2 single moms with cancer and their children from becoming homeless. So please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And thank you to everyone who has already donated. And even if you're not planning on donating, please just look at the organization to find out a little bit about what they do, because they do some incredible stuff, and it's really great to know what kind of things that this place does. So the link is in the description down below, and it's also at the comments there. So yep, please check it out, and thank you very much for all your support. And please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Now, back to the Scottish play, aka Macbeth. The play that is cursed. Or maybe, but I think everything is fine because we are not in a theater. But anyways, continuing. Act 1, Scene 3. Thunder. Enter the three witches. First witch. Where hast thou been, sister? Second witch. Killing swine. Third witch. Sister, where thou? First witch. A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Arunt thee, witch, the rump-fed reunion cries. Her husband's to Elpo gone master o' the tiger, but in a sieve all wither sail, and like a rat without a tail. I'll do, and I'll do. Second witch. I'll give thee a wind. First witch. Thou'rt kind. Third witch. And I another. First witch. I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know. I, the shipman's card, I'll drain him dry as hay. Shall sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid. Weary sun nights 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak, and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have. Second witch. Show me, show me. First witch. Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrecked as homeward, where he did come. Drum within. Sorry, I'm having a lot of fun with these witches' voices, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stop because they really are hurting my throat a lot, and I think I've done a good job of preserving my voice, so I don't want to completely lose it on the last day. So okay. Okay. So unfortunately, no more witchy voices, but drum within. Third witch. A drum, Macbeth doth come. Oh, the weird sisters. It's like an eye with 2 dots on top of it. I wonder, is that pronounced different? Is that pronounced different from weird? Or maybe Shakespeare just wrote it like that to make it look weird? I'm not sure. The weird sisters. Okay. The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up. Enter Macbeth and Banquo. Macbeth. So foul and fair a day I have not seen. Banquo. How far is called to fours? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants or the earth, and yet are on it? Live you, or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so. Macbeth. Speak, if you can. What are you? First witch. All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis. Second witch. All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor. Third witch. All hail Macbeth. That shall be king hereafter. Banquo. Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? To witches. In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope that seems wrapped withal. To me you speak not, if you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not. Speak to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate. Second witch. Hail! First witch. Hail! Second witch. Hail! Third witch. Hail! First witch. Lesser than Macbeth and greater. Second witch. Not so happy, yet much happier. Third witch. Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo. First witch. Banquo and Macbeth. All hail. Macbeth. Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Phino's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you, witches vanish. Banquo. The earth hath bubbles, and the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished? Macbeth. Into air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they have stayed? Banquo. Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner? Macbeth. Your children shall be kings. Banquo. You shall be king. Macbeth. And Thane of Cawdor, too. Went it not so? Banquo. To the self-same tune and words. Who's here? Enter Ross and Angus. Ross. The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, he wonders, and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his, silenced with that, in viewing o'er the rest, on the self-same day, he finds thee in the straight Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst to make, strange images of death, as thick as tale came post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defence, and poured them down before him. Angus, we are sent to give thee royal from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee, and from in earnest of a greater honour, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine. Banquo. What, can the devil speak true? Macbeth. The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in such borrowed robes? Angus. Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wrack, I know not, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him. Macbeth, aside. Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. To Ross and Angus, thanks for your pains, aside to Banquo. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them? Banquo. To Macbeth, that trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown. Besides the Thane of Cawdor, but 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. Win us with honest trifles to betrays in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you. Macbeth, aside. Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. How do you even do this for so long? I would probably die after like an hour. Um, well, I drink a lot of water and I drink a lot of water and I stay positive. That's basically how I survive the long hours of Shakespeare. Okay. Aside, the supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield that suggestion whose horrid doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Um, Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is sm- is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. Banquo. Look how our partner's wrapped. Macbeth, aside. If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir. Banquo. New honors come upon him, like our strange garments cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use. Macbeth, aside. Come what may. Time and time and the hour runs through the roughest day. Banquo. Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure. Macbeth. Give me your favor. My dull brain has wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered, where every day I turn the leaf and read them. Let us toward the king. Aside to Banquo. Think upon what hath changed. Think upon what hath chanced. And at more time the interium hath having weighed it, let us speak our free hearts to each other. Banquo, very gladly. Macbeth, till then, enough, enough. Come, friends. Excellent. Okay. I have ran out of water, so I need to refill. I'm refilling water. I'll be back as soon as possible. In the meantime, please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. The link is in the chat and it is also in the description. Did that spill? Oh, okay. I'm really sorry that break was longer than usual. Ah, so long we're now at 2 hours. Okay, but okay. Act 2, Scene 4. Flourish. Enter King Duncan, Lennox Mountain, Donalbain, and attendants. King Duncan. Is execution done? Is execution done on Cador? Are not those in commission yet returned? Malcolm, my liege, they're not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him. I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle. Okay. King Duncan. There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built in absolute trust. Enter Macbeth, Banquo, Ross, and Angus. To Macbeth. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say more is thy due than more than all can pay. Macbeth. The service and loyalty I owe is in doing it pays itself. Your highness' part is to receive our duties and our our duties are to your throne and state children servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor. King Duncan. Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and I will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have so. Let me unfold thee and hold thee to my heart. Banquo, there if I grow to harvest is your own. King Duncan, my plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and whose places are the nearest know upon we will establish our estate. The nearest know we will establish our estate upon our eldest Malcolm, who we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. Which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you. Macbeth, the rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my life with your approach. So humbly take my leave. King Duncan, my worthy Cador. Macbeth, aside, the Prince of Cumberland, that is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erlap, for it in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let, let not see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand. Let Yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see. Exit. King Duncan, true worthy Banquo, he is so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman. Flourish, exeunt. Act 1, Scene 5. Enter Macbeth's wife, alone with a letter. Act 1, Scene 5. Enter Macbeth's wife alone with a letter. Lady Macbeth reads, They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfect report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, which they vanished. Whiles I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to coming on thine with hail, King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightest not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of well greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full o' the talk, is too full o' the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldest be great, art not without ambition, but without illness should attend it. What thou wouldest highly, that wouldest thou holily wouldest not play false, and yet wouldest wrongly win. Thou wouldest have great Glamis, to which cries, thus thou must do. If thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. Enter messenger. What is your tidings? Messenger. The king comes here tonight. Lady Macbeth. Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who wert so would have informed for preparation. Messenger. So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost dead for breath had scarcely more than would make up his message. Lady Macbeth. Give him tending. He brings great news. Exit messenger. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on moral thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to toe, topful mirror of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse that no compunctions, visitings of nature, shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect of it, the effect in it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever you wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold, enter Macbeth. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I fear now the future is in the instant. Macbeth, my dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight. Lady Macbeth, and when goes hence? Macbeth, tomorrow, as he purposes. Lady Macbeth, never shall the sun that morrow see your face. My vein is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time, bear welcome in your eye. Your hand, your tongue, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all great nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom. Macbeth, we will speak further. Lady Macbeth, only look up clear, to alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me. Excellent. Act 1, Scene 6. Oh, okay, I'm not sure how to... Is it Hunt Boys? Howit Boys? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. I'm going to look that up. How to... My entire search history this week is just how to pronounce things. It looks like it's pronounced "oh boys." I'm not exactly sure. Okay then. Act 1, Scene 6. Oh boys and torches. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donabane, Banquo, Lennox, Macduff, Ross, Angus, and attendants. King Duncan, this castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses. Banquo, this guest of summer, this temple haunting Marlet does approve by his loved Manisort, by his loved sunry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No juddy freeze buttress, no coign of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle, where they are most breed and oh, I have observed the air is delicate. Enter Lady Macbeth. King Duncan. See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God yield us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble. Lady Macbeth, all our service in every point twice done, and then done double, where poor and single business to contend against those honors deepen, broad wherewith your majesty loads our house, for those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits. King Duncan. Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels, and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well. And his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight. Lady Macbeth, your servants ever have their themselves, and what is theirs in count to make their audit and your highness pleasure. King Duncan, give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess. Excellent. Act 1, Scene 7. O boys, torches, enter a sewer, and divers servants with dishes and service over the stage. Then enter Macbeth. Macbeth, if it were done when 'tis done, and 'twere done well, if it were done, Macbeth, if it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well if it were done quickly. If the assassination could tremble up the consequence, but catch with surcreased success, but all this blow might the be all and end all here. But here upon this bank and shawl of time, we'd jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. The even-hand justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye. That tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erlaps itself and falls on the other. Enter Lady Macbeth. How now? What news? Lady Macbeth. He has almost souped. Why have you left the chamber? Hath he asked for me? Lady Macbeth. Know you not he has? Macbeth. We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have brought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, now not cast aside so soon. Lady Macbeth. Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale, what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard in the same, to be the same in thine own act and valor, if thou art in desire? Wouldest thou have that in which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem? Letting I dare not wait upon, I would, like the poor cat in the adage. Macbeth. Prithee, prince, I dare do all that may become a man who dares do more is Macbeth. Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man who dares do more is none. Lady Macbeth. What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. To be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gum, and dashed the brains out, had I sworn as you have done to this. Macbeth. If we should fail? Lady Macbeth. We fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him. His two chamberlains will I with wine and with sail so convince the memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a lean back only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell? Macbeth. Being forth men children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when he when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chambers and used their very daggers that they have dunned Lady Macbeth, who dares receive it other, and as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death, Macbeth, I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat, away and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what false heart doth know. Excellent. I'm just gonna see how many pages we have left in this. Ooh, 20 pages left. Okay. Okay. Act 2, Scene 1. And we're still at $854 raised for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, which is an incredibly high amount, but we are only $46 away from the next huge landmark. Shakespeare, would you like to explain to people what happens when we have raised 46 more dollars? Why, yes. When we have raised 46 more dollars, we will have provided 720 people with healthy meals, home care for 9 people struggling in their fight with AIDS, covered life-saving medications for 1 month for a young man, for 3 young men who are out of work and don't have health insurance, and have paid overdue rent and kept a single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. And we, at $900, we would be $100 away from providing life-saving medications for 1 month for 1 more young man and paying overdue rent and keeping 1 more single mom with cancer and her children from becoming homeless. So please consider donating to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. The link is in the description down below and will be posted into the chat over there in 1 quick second. Now here is the link to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And please consider donating. And even if you aren't going to donate, at least please check out what they do, because they do some fantastic stuff. And now, on to Act 2. Act 2, Scene 1. Thank you for that message, Shakespeare. And now we will be going on to we will be continuing. Okay, I will continue now. Act 2, Scene 1. Enter Banquo and Fleece with the torch before him. Banquo, how goes the night, boy? Fleece, the moon is down. I have not heard the clock. Banquo, and she goes down at 12. Fleance, I take it, 'tis later, sir. Banquo, hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies laid upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain me in the cursed thoughts that nature gives way in repose. Enter Macbeth and a servant with a torch. Give me my sword. Who's there? Macbeth, a friend. Banquo, what, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal by the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content. Macbeth, being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which what else should free have wrought? Banquo, all's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth. Macbeth, I think not of them, yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time. Banquo, at your kindest leisure. Macbeth, if you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis it shall make honor for you. Banquo, so I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear, I shall be counselled. Macbeth, good repose the while. Banquo, thanks, sir, the like to you. Exeunt Banquo and Fleance. Macbeth to servant, go bid thy mistress when my drink is ready. She strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Exit servant. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight? Art thou but a dagger of the mind? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation? Proceeding from the heart the heat oppressed brain. I see thee yet, in form as pale, as as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me to the way that I was going, and such instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools or the senses, or the senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. And there's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecat's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed in his sentinel the wolf, whose howlest is watched thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing side. With Tarquin's ravishing side toward his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat he lives, word to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. A bell rings. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. I hear not, Duncan, for it isn't a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell. Exit. Sorry. I'll be back in 1 second. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, I'm here losing over still today. Because I lost because in the first scene, the weird sisters, I did witch voices, and I was like, okay, I gotta stop doing witch voices. Okay. Alright. Okay. Oof. Give me 1 second. Okay. Act 1, Scene 2. Enter Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth. That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. An owl shrieks. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their posets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die. Macbeth, within. Who's there? What, ho? Lady Macbeth. Alack, I am afraid they have awaked. and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the dead confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. Enter Macbeth with 2 bloody daggers. My husband, Macbeth, I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise? Lady Macbeth, I heard an owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you see? Now, Macbeth, Macbeth, hark! Who lies in the second chamber? Macbeth, this is a sorry sight. Lady Macbeth, a foolish thought to say a sorry sight. Macbeth, there's one. Did I laugh in sleep? And one cried, Murder! Murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep. Lady Macbeth, there are 2 lodged together. Macbeth, one cried, God bless us, and Amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say Amen when they did say God bless us. Lady Macbeth, consider it not so deeply. Macbeth, but wherefore could not I pronounce Amen? I had most need of blessing, and Amen struck in my throat. Lady Macbeth, these deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad. Macbeth, methought I heard a voice cry, Sleep no more, Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast. Lady Macbeth, what do you mean? Macbeth, still it cried, Sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Lady Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood. Macbeth, oh God, no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not. Lady Macbeth, infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt. Knock within. Exit. Macbeth, whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ha! They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, 'tis my hand will rather this multitudinous seas incarnate, making the green one red. Enter Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth, my hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Knock. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then. Your constancy hath left you unattended. Knock. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest the occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts. Macbeth, to know my deed 'twere best not know myself. Knock. Knock. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst. Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 3. Enter a porter, knocking within. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Thanks. I'll try to keep up my energy. I'm getting quite tired. It's like all of the stuff from all the week has suddenly like crashed down upon me and be like, "Ah, Simon, you are tired. Simon, be tired." Okay, I'll continue. Act 2, Scene 3. Enter a porter, knocking within. Porter, here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, old he should have old turning the key. Knock. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins know about you. Here you'll sweat for't. Knock. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the other devil's name. Faith, here's an equivocator. Thou couldst swear in both the scales against either scale who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet not equivocate to heaven. Oh, 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 come in, equivocator. Knock, 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 knock. Who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor, come hither for stealing out of French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your grows. Knock, knock, knock. Never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought I had thought I had thought to have let some of all professions that go to the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Knock. A nun opens the door. I pray you remember the porter. Enter Macduff and Lennox. Macduff. Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late? Porter. Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provider of three things. Macduff. What three things does drink especially provoke? Porter. Marry, sir, nose paintings, sleep, and urine. Literary, sir, it provides, and unprovokes, it provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be in a an equivocator with lechery. It makes him, it mars him, it sets him on, it takes him off, it persuades him and disheartens him, makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, evokes him in a sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him. Macduff, I believe drink gave thee the lie last night. Porter, that it did, sir. In the very throat on me, but I requited him for his lie. I think being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometime, yet I made a shift to cast him. Macduff, is thy master stirring? Enter Macbeth. Our knocking has waked him. Here he comes. Lennox, exit Porter. Lennox, good morrow, noble sir. Macbeth, good morrow both. Macduff, is the king stirring, worthy Thane? Macbeth, not yet. Macduff, he did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour. Macbeth, I'll bring you to him. Macduff, I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one. Macbeth, the labor we delight in physic's pain. This is the door. Macduff, I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service. Exit Macduff. Lennox, goes the king hence today? Macbeth, he does. He did appoint so. Lennox, the night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused offense, new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake. Macbeth, 'twas a rough night. Lennox, my young remembrance cannot parrot a fellow to it. Enter Macduff. Macduff, oh horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee. Macbeth and Lennox, what's the matter? Macduff, confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life the bidding. Macbeth, what is it you say, the life? Lennox, me knew his majesty? Macduff, approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Exeunt Macbeth and Lennox. Awake, awake! Ring the alarm bell, murder and treason! Banquo and Donabane, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Bell rings. Enter Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth, that such a hideous trumpet. Lady Macbeth, what's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley? Great energy. I will, thanks. Or more like I'll try, but okay. Ah, here I am. Lady Macbeth. What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak, Macduff. O gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition of in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Enter Banquo. O Banquo, Banquo, or our royal master's murdered. Lady Macbeth. Woe, alas! What in our house? Banquo. Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I pray thee contradict thyself and say it is not so. Enter Macbeth, Lennox, and Ross. Macbeth. Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessing time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality, all is but toys. Renown and grace is dead, the wine of life is drawn, and the merelies is left this vault to brag of. Enter Malcolm and Dollabane. Dollabane, what is amiss? Macbeth, you are and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped. Macduff, your royal father is murdered. Malcolm, oh, by whom? Lennox, those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They starred and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them. Macbeth. Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them. Okay. Macduff, wherefore did you so? Macbeth, who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man the expedition of my violent love outrun, the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make loves known? Lady Macbeth, help me hence, ho! Macduff looked to the lady. Malcolm, aside to Donabane. Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for ours? Donabane to Malcolm. We should be spoken here. Where our fate hidden augur hole may rush and seize us, let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed. Malcolm to Donabane. Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion. Banquo, look to the lady. Lady Macbeth is assisted out. And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice. Macduff, and so do I. All. Macbeth. Let's briefly put on mannerly readiness and meet in the hall together. All. Well contended. Exeunt all but Malcolm and Donalbain. Malcolm. What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. All to England. Donalbain. To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles, the near in blood, the near bloody. Malcolm, the, this murderous shaft that's shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid them. Therefore, to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's mercy left. Exwood. Okay, so I'm getting really tired and kind of worn out, but I'm definitely going to do a part 2 today. But since I'm at a good stopping point, since I just finished the scene, I'm gonna end part 1 now. I'm gonna take a longer break today because I am tired. I'm gonna start part 2 at 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock. So I'm going to end part 1 now, and in the meantime, please check out Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS and consider making a donation to them. Their cause is really incredible, and in just $46, we will have helped even more people than we already have. So please consider donating, and please tune in to part 2 at 1 o'clock.